Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm today.
And Jan.
And Jan's doing, she's doing the videographer this morning. Anyway, it's a beautiful day here, second day of March, and Jan and I have a pretty big announcement for Green Pastures.
We have a very big announcement.
Yeah, a very big announcement. This is the farm that we were talking about this last summer. The developers bought it and put in 17 house sites. Every single ridge over here was going to have a house on it. And you know what? I was born and raised in this country. Every time I drove by it just made my heart sink, thinking that this beautiful cattle farm was going to be growing houses instead of cattle. And so Jan and I talked about it, and
we've been looking at it for well over a year.
Yeah, been looking at it. Never made any offers or anything. But the thing that makes it so sweet to us is right over there on that hillside is our bull farm. So Joanna and Doug, they've got the farm right there we leased from them. It's still got the H braces in the fence over there. We just have to put the gates back in. We bought it. Jan and I bought it. We bought 13 tracts that were going to have houses on it and put it all back together. And when we bought it, we got 3 ponds on it. Of course, the developers ripped out all the fence, put in
electric fence,
put in this gravel road, and put another one in over there and one on the back. But you know, we're gonna deal with that. But Jan, you want to give them a panoramic of what we bought here?
I'm gonna go around. So there may be some wind, but just bear with us, just to show you the beauty of this farm, the beauty of the cattle farm. Now, over there, that lot has been sold, and it's kind of in the middle, but we'll deal with him. The other 2 lots that have sold are on the edge, on the east side, and we don't care about that. We're just worried. We're just going to worry about our 140 some odd acres, or 150, whatever it is.
It's 141 acres.
Okay, and then it hooks on to Doug's, which makes it...
well, it'd be right at 240 acres in one piece. So our motto is, we grow cows, not condos.
Yeah,
Kathy Voth. Thank you, Kathy.
we love that.
I love that phrase. Grow cows, not condos. Folks, this is the country. My goodness. Keep your condos, keep your subdivisions.
Your mini mansions.
In the suburbs. We don't need them out here. So we stepped up the plate and we bought it. We made a lot of neighbors around here very, very, very happy. Because they've got houses, you know, and all they were going to be looking at was houses now instead of cows grazing. So we've got some work to do, and we got a lot of work to do. We got to put a whole new perimeter fence along the blacktop,
around the boundaries of
the side. But the back has got 5-strand high tensile already on it, so we don't have to fence that. Well,
but we got to move it.
We got to move it. The last landowner actually moved it in from the property line about 15 feet, the full length. So that's a lot of land. We'll be moving that, but that's another project.
And why do we want to do that? Well, other than we own the land, but there's trees.
It's got some really nice shade trees all the way along that property line. And if you look out in these fields, there's not a lot of trees.
Because he bush hogged it, and he hated it.
Yeah, well, he didn't hay it very much.
No, but the last owner
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
to make it look pretty.
We got in contact with the old owner that owned it before the developer bought it and told him what we did. And he was just ecstatic. He's like, Greg, every time I went by that farm, it made me sick in my stomach, knowing that there was going to be houses growing on it where he raised cattle. But we've got a really nice pond down here. It's running out the spillway of all things in a drought, and that's because of the watershed. It's got a huge watershed on it. It's got a tank behind it. It's got a hydrant. It's got a pad, frost-free tank. There's another one on the far end, and there's an old pond in the middle we're going to put rock skirts on because it doesn't have any pipe in it. It's a big pond.
Yeah, there's no piped water over here.
There's no pipe. Well, that's a whole nother story. Yeah. So we won't get into all that. There was city water on this farm at one time, and between the last landowner and the water department, they're like, no. But that's something that we've got to work on. We do have electricity on the front of the farm if we want it. There's poles where we can set a meter. But basically what happened here, folks, is a developer bought this, and it was one of those get rich, get quick schemes, get rich quick schemes. And what happened was he didn't do his homework. Once he bought it, the water line company would not run real water back on these hills. They're like, no, our water line is not to provide for subdivisions. It's for county individual house lots. And so they wouldn't give him any water. And then the electric, they're like, well, we can run electric back to, but it's going to cost you, I think it was almost $80,000 to put transformers on all these ridges. So he was kind of stuck. The bank was knocking on his door. He was paying a huge amount of interest every month.
For over a year.
For, well, a year and 4 months. And so we just closed on it yesterday.
Yeah.
Felt pretty good. I mean, I've never written a check that big, but you know what? Jan and I, we've worked hard. I was telling her the other day, I can remember when we bought banquet food.
Lean cuisines and hot pockets. And...
2 for $1.
Yeah,
Folks, that was in 1997 when I met Jan. And yeah, we look forward to, you know, that's what happens. When you work and save and you have a good partner like Jan, you both have the same goal working forward. Folks, this is America. It's the best country in the world. And when you work hard and you save and you do without.
And I don't even feel like we really did without.
No.
Other than not
we
eating.
didn't spend money.
Right, we didn't spend money, and we didn't eat the best of foods.
No, we didn't. We ate crappy food starting out. We didn't have good food. Those days are past us now. But I guess what I'm trying to say is do what you've got to do to get to where you want to go. Set your goals. Ian has a great saying, and it goes like this. Plan for what you want. Manage with what you have. And that's what Jan and I did starting out. We managed with what we had. And as we kept going forward, if you'd have told me we could have bought this farm, I'd have called you a liar. There's no way. There's just no way we could ever bought this. But we did.
And we've been very blessed to buy some of the other farms we had.
We have.
They were small farms. We got not small, but smaller than this. And we got very good prices because the people wanted us to have it.
That's right, the landowners that we were renting from. This one wasn't that way. This was going to be houses. And folks, a lot of it's got big blue stem on it. These ridges back in here. This is the farm that we got the hay off last year. The developer wanted it cut and mowed, and luckily he only did it for 2 years because we got it stopped before any broom sedge appeared. There's not any broom sedge on this farm. There's big blue stem, there's fescue, there's orchard grass, and the previous landowner before the developer, Brian, he took good care of it. I mean, he had this thing all paddocked up, okay? He rotated animals through here, and he was always a little bit on the underside of stocking, so he always made sure he never ran out of grass. And it's just a shame the developers came here and ripped out all the fencing. It's all in a pile over here, and they watered it up in a big wad. Yeah. There's no way you can reuse it. So, but you know, it's the way it is. We'll deal with it. And between the boys and I and Jan, we're good at building fence, and we're not going to put a lot of fence in the middle of this. We're going to get the perimeter's fenced, and we're going to run a single hot wire. We got to do some drawings and planning how we're going to do it, but we're going to probably split the farm in two. And then we'll just take poly wire, and we're going to be constantly rotating the animals around this. Of course, there's the bull farm right over there. And it's got good water on it, so we don't have to worry about water over there.
And we're connected on the back side here.
Yep, we're connected across the creek over here too. So
that's how it got started.
Yeah. So the neighbors, Doug and Joanna, they were looking at it, and then for personal reasons, they backed out and told us that we wouldn't hurt their feelings if we went after it. And so that's what started it. And Jan and I first were just going to buy 8 tracts.
About 90 acres.
Yeah, about 90 acres. And we drove over here. It was just last week, wasn't it? Last Sunday?
I don't know.
2 Sundays ago.
2 Sundays ago.
And we're driving along, and Jan was up. We were up on that road over there.
There's a road up on the edge of the trees there.
I'm looking down across that valley, and I'm like, man, we're not getting any of this. And Jan stopped, and she says, Greg, back up. I said, what do you want, honey? He said, I think we need to buy this tract.
All of it.
All of it. And I'm like, I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't going to say anything. I didn't want to push the button. I was pretty happy to get the 8 tracts we were getting.
But one of the reasons is the water.
The water. We picked up 2 more ponds.
Yeah, because
So we got water on the far end, we got water in the middle, and we got water on this end.
and really when you're looking at that parcel, and we can just kind of scan, it's super hilly, and there's really no good way that they should build ever a house on that. And
But they were going to.
they were going to. On each one of these ridges,
Yeah.
they've had houses.
There's a driveway over there coming in on the other road. So, oh yeah, they had it. They sat down. We'll do another video on the actual map of how they had all the tracks laid out. You can see it. And every single hillside, they had a house on it. And they had them down to 10 acres, and they did a special zoning on the front over here. They knocked them down to 7 acres. 2 of them. And we didn't get those. They're gone. But that's all right. We got
the rest.
everything else is fastened on to Doug and Joanna, and we're happy. Doug and Joanna, they're tickled.
And we control these 2 roads coming off the blacktop.
That's right. We've only told one neighbor right up here that we bought, and I was talking to her on the phone when I told her, and she just about lost it. She's like, "You got to be kidding me! You mean we're going to see cattle grazing again instead of houses being put up in our backyard?" And I'm like, "That's right." So we're gonna grow cows and not condos. So
You know, I mean, and that's what counties should start looking at.
we're gonna cover up our whole country with houses if we're not careful.
Yeah, we went by a place on the east side of Boone County. Wonderful crop ground.
Oh yes, yes, that was yesterday.
Yeah,
We're talking 300 bushel type crop ground, topsoil that deep, and houses on it with 10-acre yards. 10-acre yards to mow on cropland. I'm like, what are y'all thinking? But
yeah.
anyway,
But I mean, you know, like in Europe and that, they actually have restrictions and zonings and things like that, and they're looking partly because they have small countries. We're blessed with a big country, but
Yep.
we're covering up our eating.
we are our food producing area, so we're still going to be able to grow beef here, and who knows, we may have a sheep flock over there one of these days, or some goats. But the thing is, this is built for ruminants, not houses.
And this gives us a lot more flexibility.
It does. Folks, I tell you, every time I drove past this farm, after I saw those signs go up, and I saw the dozers coming, and I saw them pushing the dirt and putting in these rows, it's just like, it was all I could do. It was all I could do just to go by. It just made me sick. And so, yeah, we took care of that. We bought it. And, yeah.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for the next development.
Yeah, and we'll bring you along on the journey of putting in the fences, how we're doing it, how we're building fence, and maybe the rock skirts. Which but this is a farm that we're developing.
We're excited. We're excited about it. We just wanted to share our news with you folks. So y'all have a good one, and hit that subscribe button way out, and we'll see you next time.